Let's bring you the latest pictures coming into us from Dublin after Tony Blair arrived there in the past half hour for his first official book signing since the launch of his memoirs a few days ago. Well, he was greeted by anti-war protesters. They pelted him with shoes and with eggs, but they didn't hit their target. Mr. Blair in that car, they're about to get out. Huge security operation there, his own personal security team and the Garda there to protect him. Well, David Blevins, our Ireland correspondent, has been following developments. David, we're just looking at these pictures of protesters clashing with police and throwing their missiles.
Yes, perhaps an arguably more significant anti-war demonstration than we had anticipated today, somewhere in the region of 200 to 300 people perhaps, and they're certainly making their feelings clear to the former Prime Minister. His decision to invade Iraq. So if he had hoped that by coming to Ireland he would shift the focus from the war to his more positive aspect of legacy, which is the, of course, political settlement in Northern Ireland, spectacularly backfired on him, because as you have been reporting, Lorna, he's come under some sort of protest here in terms of eggs and shoes being thrown in his direction. But to the best of our knowledge, that his security team have of those makeshift missiles hitting the former Prime Minister. He's now inside the bookstore where he's signing copies of his memoirs, and I suppose the fact that there has been an orderly queue of readers along the side of that store queuing to meet the Prime Minister, in stark contrast against the rather disorderly protest going on outside, is a rather vivid reflection of his legacy. Commended in one hand for securing peace in Northern Ireland, condemned in equal measure for going to war in Iraq.
David, are those protesters still there? Is he going to get the same reception as he leaves the building after the book signing?
Yes, they turned up a little earlier than we had expected them to. The protest was scheduled to take place at 11:30, which is when Tony Blair is due to leave the bookstore on O'Connell Street. So I think they will most certainly still be there and be determined to make sure he knows how they feel about that war in Iraq. And it is interesting, I suppose, that here in Ireland, even that matter managed to dominate his first live television interview since the publication of his memoirs. He was well and truly grilled on the Late Late Show last night and found himself passionately defending once more his decision to invade Iraq. So that remains the focus of attention even here in Ireland, where of course he is so highly credited with the contribution he made to the securing of peace for the north of Ireland.
David, for now, thank you. We'll be back with you as Tony Blair does leave the bookshop around 11:30.